for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 26 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, buymog.com. If you use promo code VENOM at checkout, that'll get you 6% off your order. The link will be down below in the description. Yo, what's good, guys? I'm Fire here back with a video answer. We're going to be hopping into another Madden 26 video. Today we're going to be going over one of the better defenses in the game, how I like to run it, how I mix up the adjustments, and overall the best ways to have success with this meta defense. Now, the most popular defense probably you'll see is this nickel 3-3 double mug, at least from what I've seen. And there's a lot of different plays in here and different ways to run it. You'll see the Tampa 2 a lot. You'll see one of these versions of cover 3, usually the nickel dog 3 buzz, and I can post videos on these plays if you guys are interested in those. But you'll kind of see a lot of these different plays. The one we're going to talk about is the nickel dog meg on the right hand side there. You have basic Tampa 2, cover 3, mid blitz. We all kind of know about all of those, but we'll be talking about the nickel dog meg. Now, for these adjustments, we're going to leave kind of everything at default for now. I'll talk through some situations where you may want to adjust them, but for now, we'll leave those on the default. Auto flip on is, of course, okay. Personnel-wise, you can get safeties at these inside positions if preferred. Again, that depends on the personnel, the team you're using, the players that you have on your roster. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that like, subscribe to the channel down below. Again, always let me know what you guys want to see next. I take those considerations very seriously. I always take a look into them, and I'm always looking to know what is the most popular things to run. So, let's go ahead and start out with this nickel dog mag. Now I'm going to try and bounce from formation to formation on offense. I'm going to start with a little bit of a trips look here, move into maybe the bunch tight end, etc. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, looking at our defense, it's a cover 4 on the left-hand side and kind of a cover 4 on the right-hand side. Now, it's not a complete cover 4 because we don't have an outside quarter on the right-hand side. We have one player that's manned up, but we do still have a flat. That's going to be with this linebacker. So immediately, I wouldn't really ever run this play stock, just to let you guys know. I wouldn't do it. But what we can do is, first adjustment is going to be spread our defensive line. You've probably seen that before. That's D-pad to the left up on that left analog stick. The next thing that we're going to do is D-pad to the right and up on the left analog stick. That is going to spread our linebackers. Now, we also have this player on a blitz on the left side. So against the trips look, what I like to do is immediately I'm going to man him up on Drake London in this particular case. He's the slot receiver. And if I'm using this inside player, I don't want to have to worry about potentially having to jump to the left side, especially if I am the right-hand side linebacker. And I will be using this linebacker in this particular situation. Now, the next adjustment that I'm going to go through and do is I'm going to actually put B on a hard flat. That's going to take away any potential drag coming from left to right, any zig route on the right-hand side, any flat route with the running back. The next thing that we can go ahead and do is man up that receiver, because of course we got rid of our man coverage when we put him in the hard flat. So the next thing we want to do is put A in man coverage, and we're going to put him on Kyle Pitts in this situation, just like so. And then our user would more times than not have the responsibility to defend the running back. Now, we are going to have match principles on the left-hand side. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to follow the running back. Now, if the running back is on a flat route, any route going to the outside, then I'm usually okay to kind of leave him alone. If he is on maybe a Texas route, then of course I would have to follow that with my user. So it's a little bit of an aggressive style defense. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the stunts, which we're going to go D-pad to the left and RB. And then the stunts usually depend. Like Penix here, he's a lefty, so I'm going to usually try and stunt on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go with the right Tex 2-man, which is going to be R1. And this should give us a looping blitz. What I'm going to do is kind of hover around here. This doesn't come through every time. Of course, you're rushing 4, but you guys know that these loop blitzes out of this formation are pretty good. So we're going to snap the ball. He's not going to loop in, but, you know, he gets pretty darn quick pressure. You would have had to step up in the pocket. I'm not containing on the left, but I am straight rushing, which is going to at least force a little bit of a struggle generally to scramble out left to his strong side, of course. He's not really going to want to scramble out to the weak side. So, again, the loop blitz can be inconsistent, but get some quick players on the outside of your defensive line, specifically so they loop in. So, I know I talked a lot, but let's go over those adjustments again. We're going to hard flat. We're going to spread linebackers and D linemen. We're going to man up that receiver on that side. And I'll kind of show it against bunch as well, so you guys will get a little bit of a better idea. But again, I would have this player, and then you could stunt whatever you like. So let's say Bijan is on like an angle route. Boom. I would have to follow him. And then I could even like try and lurk other ways. You guys see that everything else is covered well in this play, in this specific setup. And I'll show some other ways we can run it. But Crosser's taken care of course, because he is manned up, which is crucial. These players do a really good job. Now, potentially I would have wanted my quarter flat to maybe come back and help out on this, but again, we have Pitts manned up, so he's taken care of. Again, I would just have to keep following with my running back here, you know, hope that the pressure gets in at that point, and most times it does. So that's kind of how I would go about doing it, but overall, a good setup. Now, this would kind of be the same case scenario if you were facing like a bunch tight end formation. So let's say we're facing this gun bunch tight end. We're going to run pretty much everything kind of the same here. I'm still going to hard flat. I'm going to man up the tight end. I'm going to man up the slot receiver. And then I'm going to get my stunt as well. And then I would, again, have the responsibility of the running back. If the running back's on a streak or a Texas route or an in route, I'm taking him. If he's on like some kind of an out route, then again, we don't really have to worry about him, which is nice. So here, again, we don't get that initial loop pressure. It looked like kind of some weird stuff happened in that offensive line area. But overall, the defense, it looks good conceptually. So that would be the first way we can run it. Now, the next way that we can run it is going to be, let's put our free safety on an inside third, which is actually going to be the L1 button. Inside third is going to be left analog stick to the left-hand side. And then what we're going to do is just simply man up this X linebacker actually on our running back, and we can kind of run this play stock. Now, this is an interesting way to do it. You're going to have a little bit more responsibility on Drake London here, specifically if he is going across the middle of the field. If he's on a streak, he's taken care of. If he's on a corner route, he should be taken care of. If he's on a crosser, again, I would probably want to follow that because the chance of the inside quarter taking it may be a little bit risky. So, again, you always want to adjust the defense based on like kind of what you're facing, but there you see we get the loop in, and you see the crosser actually ends up getting matched pretty well by the inside quarter on the right, which is why I kept the inside quarter on the right. Again, I could have put him in a deep half or even an outside third, I believe, but we keep our strong safety on the inside quarter, and that's because he actually does a good job, and he actually ends up matching, and he would follow this player. So again, obviously these guys clamped. We have that inside third safety help over the top. Again, if Drake London was on a streak, we would have that covered. Over here, again, we already have the running back manned up, so I don't have to worry about the running back. And then take a look at our loop. This is what we'd love to see, and that is what is so popular right now, why this defense is so popular. So let's show that setup again. A little bit more simple than the first setup I ran, but L1 inside third. I man up the running back. And again, like if the running back was on the other side, and I'll try and show like a doubles look for some of these, but the setup will differentiate depending on the formation, of course. It is really annoying when people spam flip out of this. Keep that in mind, but you know, you can't really do anything about that. But let's go to bunch tight end here and show this look. So I don't know if it resets. I guess it doesn't. That's good. So again, we could kind of create a setup, pretend like this is a good setup on paper in my opinion. So again, we have two people manned up. I would be watching Drake London and then watching any kind of backside routes. So again, here, you see Drake London does kind of get matched, but you almost still want to be there with your user because sometimes the match isn't necessarily as clean as it could be. But overall, a good setup. Now, let's pretend we go up against a traditional gun bunch offense, which is so ever popular, as we all know, and as we all love. So bunch, we're going to go ahead and flip our defense, of course. Now, bunch is an interesting cookie because honestly, I don't hate just simply running my bunch play. Something like this. I could like man up the tight end. I could man up the safety even on the running back. And then I could just user this player. And, you know, I can get my stunts and all that good stuff as well. And again, here, I'm probably still going to stunt off that right side. But, honestly, it's probably a little weird. So I'm probably still going to stunt off that, or right side, rather. But this could be an option to run it. You know, you do this, and then, of course, I mean, everybody is really matched up pretty well, just on a stock verticals play. So that is an idea. I'm going to come out in bunch so we can get a little bit of a better look and I don't have to kind of audible around. Although I would be prepared for situations where people are flipping. Oh, this is cool. I didn't know they had bunch and bunch offset in the same playbook. That's actually really cool. I did not know, although this bunch offset is pretty bad. But we have a regular verts. So again, auto flip is on. Nickel Dog Meg is our play. So now we're simply running it from that left side. So that's one way to do it, kind of the way I just showed you. You man up 2 players on the right. Now, again, what we could do is we could maybe put L1 on the inside third still, like so. And we could easily just man up both these players, and I could use this guy. So you could play like this. That way we have that inside quarter on the right to help match onto any crossers, maybe with Ray McLeod or Kyle Pitts or whatever those routes are. We have the inside third that's going to help out with streaks. We still have match coverage on the corner routes and things over there on the left. And these outside quarters play those custom stem corner routes pretty well. So that is an idea. Another idea that I kind of like is almost a cover 6 look. So what I'm going to do is immediately just go cover 6. That's one way you could easily just run a cover 6 is put B in a cloud flat and A in a deep half. And now I have this extra player. I could either user him, I could leave the quarter flat on the right, or I could man up this player on like the tight end. Or whoever I want, I can man him up on Ray McLeod, of course. And then I can actually use it as quarter flat, so that's a way to do it. Again, I can still get my stunts as well. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to go with a kind of heavy cloud flat adjustment. So I actually put X on a cloud flat, and this is going to help with double Mabel looks, heavy corner route flat concepts, those type of things. I could even jam him because he is a cloud flat. So we could do this. And then I could still man up one of those players. I could go X in an inside third. I could just go X in a hook curl. So there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of run it here. I mean, coverage, pretty solid. I wouldn't get too over aggressive. I kind of like to keep our base concept that we run, you know, but feel free to have the creative bandwidth to do whatever you want. Of course, you know, I'm kind of trying to throw as many ideas on the table as possible. I like those first setups a little bit better, just keeping the man coverage like inside third here, manning up, you know, McLeod, who I know is going to be on routes, and then maybe just, you know, usering this player or manning up the safety on the running back, just kind of keeping it a little bit simple. I think that's probably the most effective way to do it, but, you know, mix it up. Those cover 6 adjustments are pretty effective in my opinion as far as doing that. Now, let's say we face a little bit more of a symmetrical look, maybe a normal Y off close, maybe a tight Y off. I'm not sure what we have here. We will find out. We have tight Y off, probably go with that. Okay. So we're facing tight Y off, which is a little bit more interesting. Cover 4, I don't generally love against these spread out formations in general, but if I was running this against it, it's pretty interesting because I'm gonna definitely probably go cloud flat adjustment immediately just to kind of give myself some space. Like the cover 4 adjustment over there doesn't really work because you have a quarter flat, a quarter, and then one of those players manned up, and it's kind of, you know, you could just run the play stock and use the player that's on the blitz. You could, but it wouldn't be my favorite. I feel like your user would just have a little bit more responsibility than he needs. So I would probably just kind of keep it simple and run it like this. Again, I would always kind of hover here, always keep my looping blitz stunt. And I would probably just kind of run it like this, you know, help out. Now B gets open there. That's a little bit of a concern. Again, if that is of concern to you, you could put Y in an inside third and kind of alleviate that at all. So that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.